Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Boxing Time TV. It's a little bit late here, so I'm just going to kind of get into the particulars. David Lemieux is fighting Curtis Stevens. That bout is coming up very, very soon, and I am actually using some facts and info as I do this, just because I want to make sure that I've got all my facts straight. And he is fighting Curtis Stevens. As I look here, he's fighting him on March 11th, 2017. And this bout between David Lemieux and Curtis Stevens is going to be, I think, a fan's dream, because I think these guys are going to go toe to toe, head to head. I could see Lemieux coming out and boxing and taking a decision. I could see Stevens, just giving Lemieux more than he can handle. There's a lot of intriguing factors in this fight. Let's just get right to it. As you can see, Lemieux is a 6-5 favorite. They're close in age, close in height. I made them the same weight. They're close in reach, and they're semi-close in the amount of fights that they have. So let's just get right to this. And as we see here, I just want to make sure I got the right fight mode. Okay, this is in simulation mode. Let's get right to it. David Lemieux versus Curtis Stevens. Once again, you are watching Boxing Time TV. My name is Evan Jacobs, and you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is at Boxing Time with Evan. And right now, you see both these guys coming out, and they're looking to you see Lemieux kind of pressing forward a little bit, and you see Stevens sort of pressing out his jab and really trying to stop and stutter the movement of David Lemieux, and Steven lands a nice right hand right there on Lemieux's chin. And I'd say of the two fighters, I think Stevens probably has a better chin. I think that that Lemieux is a very tough fighter, but I also think that he does not take punches, very hard punches, as well as Curtis Stevens. And as you can see, Stevens is trying to kind of make Lemieux pay for being so aggressive. And I think he's doing a very good job here. I think he has David Lemieux thinking twice. And, like I said, this is a simulation. We have David Lemieux on the left side of the screen, Curtis Stevens on the right side of the screen. And actually, this bout is being put together. I'm forgetting the gentleman's name. I want to say it's RAT something or other. I just don't have it in front of me. I'm so sorry I didn't write it down. But he actually requested this fight on the Boxing Time TV page. And so I just want to thank him for doing that. And like I said, if you request a fight, I'll do my best to make it. I believe that the next bout I'm going to do is probably going to be Aaron Pryor versus Sugar Ray Leonard. That was requested by another gentleman who goes by the handle Backpack of Knowledge. So right now, as you can see, I think so far Curtis Stevens is negating David Lemieux in a lot of ways. I think that he's counterpunching. I think that he is placing his punches better, I'm saying I think that as this fight goes on, we're going to see a lot of back and forth action. It's going to stay pretty even, and these guys are just going to slug it out. We're in the final minute now of the first round, and as you can see, Lemieux is doing his best to land hard shots, maybe box a little bit more, as he realized coming in against Curtis Stevens. Stevens just was popping him with shots, and Stevenson popped him right there. But I believe that Lemieux landed hard as well. Lemieux is the favorite in this fight according to the computer, but this really is a pick'em fight, and I think that as far as fans go, people are going to be pretty excited about this, where I believe it is taking place in Canada. That seems to be David Lemieux. That's what fighters do. They go and they fight him there. Although I want to say that Gennady Golovkin did not, but I could be wrong. I'm wondering if that bout was Madison Square Garden. Let's see right now. What the judges say, if I called it correctly. Yeah, one judge giving it to Curtis Stevens, another judge giving it to David Lemieux, and another judge giving it to David Lemieux. So, hey, it shows what I know. Let's see what happens as we come out for the second round. What I like about both these guys is the energy that they're putting out. These guys just want to go for it. Curtis Stevens going to the body. I think that's a smart move. I think ultimately this fight's going to become a slugfest, and the guy that can put a lot of punches in the bank, and the guy that can land the more damaging punches, is the guy that is going to come out victorious. So yeah, right now David Lemieux is trying to get someone going, trying to establish his rhythm, shooting out that left jab, and he gets popped again by the left hand of Curtis Stevens, and Curtis Stevens hits him with a right hand. And that's the thing, is I think Curtis Stevens is cagey. His nickname is the Cerebral Assassin, and I think that very much. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do all this stuff at the same time, and it just is not working for me. And it's so I'm going to stop touching the computer. I'm realizing that as I do this, I can't mess with my computer as I'm doing this podcast, and I apologize. But one thing about this podcast, it is very, very simple and bare bones. This is a very old school game. I don't have a microphone that I talk into. I simply just talk extemporaneously as I do this. I set it up with QuickTime, and I just do a nice screen recording, trying to get real tight in the action. And as I am seeing here, oh, look at that! Oh, Curtis Stevens landing a hard amount of punches on David Lemieux. And I was actually wrong. Their bout is not going to be in Canada. It's going to be at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York. And right now, I have to give Curtis Stevens a lot of credit. On the inside, he's doing very, very well as far as landing shots, and he's shored up his defense. So this is looking good. This is looking really, really good. And David Lemieux. Lemieux has hurt Curtis Stevens with that uppercut. Can he press the advantage, or can Curtis Stevens get his bearing about himself and possibly make David Lemieux pay for coming in? We will have to see. And Lemieux backs Stevens to the ropes, and the question is he going to land the kind of shots that can possibly stop him? I said I thought that Stevens had the better chin, but look at that. Look who's hurt early. And man, David Lemieux hurting him even more, getting him against the ropes. And I'm telling you what we're seeing here. But David Lemieux has to be smart. He does not want to expend too much energy, because Curtis Stevens can very easily turn that around on him, and suddenly David Lemieux finds himself on the ground. David Lemieux is a fighter. He goes all out in every fight, and so does Curtis Stevens. And so that's what makes this such a good matchup. Let's see what the judges say after the second round. All right, they're giving it to David Lemieux, and rightfully so. David Lemieux landed the harder punches. He backed Stevens into the ropes. Let's see how that plays into the particulars here, as we are now headed into the third round. David Lemieux on the left side of the screen, Curtis Stevens on the right side of the screen. You are watching Boxing Time TV. My name is Evan Jacobs. You can find me at Boxing Time with Evan. That is my handle on Instagram. And I also am the commentator for Fight Club OC. I'm going to be handling their Facebook Live broadcast coming up on February 16th. So all you have to do is tune in to Fight Club OC. Go log on to Facebook. Go to follow Fight Club OC, and you will. And I'm not even sure if you need to follow them. You just need to go to the page. But hey, follow them, because I think that's pretty darn cool. And you'll get to hear me commentate on the fights there. And those are not simulated fights like this. Those are actual fights with human beings. And hopefully you like what I do. And it's very, very interactive. If people make comments, I comment back. Right now, I may start doing some Instagram live stuff with this. I don't know. That would require a bit more of a setup, and I'd have to shoot in a certain way that I just don't know how good it would look on Instagram. But we will see. Oh, right there, Curtis Stevens landing a hard left uppercut. He's trying to make up for what happened in that round, because Lemieux is now ahead by 4 points. So, oh man, and David Lemieux right now is very much trying to box, very much trying to counter, very much trying to seize his advantage, because he really hurt punching in between the kind of wider punches of Curtis Stevens. and Lemieux hurt him, but at the same time, you know, Curtis Stevens has power, and he can very much turn the tables. These two guys are just banging and going for it right now. The question is, will this fight comes down to who wants it more and who did not expend so much energy early in the fight. You know, this is a fight I don't believe that we'll be seeing the final bell with, but I could be 100% wrong. I'm often wrong on these things. The things I think are going to go the distance end early, and the things I think are going to end early end up going the distance. I mean, just look at Hagler Hearns 2. I actually did two versions of that because I messed up one of them. But Hearns took a decision over Hagler, beat him black and blue from pillar to post. Although, you know, there was a point where Hagler looked like he was coming on later in the fight, but you know, we will see. We are now in the last 10 seconds, or 14 seconds, 13 seconds of the fight, and I'm not at the fight of this round. I think this round was fairly even, and I can actually see them maybe making a case for Curtis Stevens, but we will see as we go to the judges again. All right, like I said, even. Another judge has it even. Looks like we're all on the same page here. All right, let's go right now to the fourth round, and the question is David Lemieux going to start to pull ahead? Is Curtis Stevens going to make up for the deficit because he's now 4 points behind? It's not that big a deal. We're only in the fourth round, but it does matter. It very much does matter. And David Lemieux, you see there landing shots to the head and shots to the body. He wants to start breaking down Curtis Stevens now. He wants to get Curtis Stevens fighting in a certain pattern where Curtis Stevens is just taking a bunch of punches. And his idea is that, he wants to probably end this as soon as possible. And he probably feels more confident now. I think, once you hurt a fighter, that has to play into the psychological, nature of, hey, I know that I can hurt this guy. But the question is that, Curtis Stevens is a cagey fighter. He's a veteran. So he does not want, David Lemieux cannot seriously think he's going to land punches and that's just going to be the end. Because it just does not work that way. And as you see right there, Lemieux Stevens just slamming David Lemieux with shots. So we're seeing here right now, Curtis Stevens is trying to pop off that left hand. He's trying to do little things to edge his way back into the fight. And Lemieux lands uppercut. And what I like is that both these guys, whenever one lands on the other, they make it a point to land right after that. That's Mike Tyson showed that a lot in when he came out of prison. Or actually, when he came out of prison for a little bit, and then even before he went in, he was hitting fighters. If he got hit, man, they paid for it. And so it almost made you kind of wonder, like, well, what's the point? What's the point of even hitting him if he's gonna, if you're just gonna get hit back that much harder? We are in, like I said, the fourth round. We have David Lemieux on the left side of the screen, Curtis Stevens on the right side of the screen. My name is Evan Jacobs. And this is Boxing Time TV. Please subscribe to the channel. Like the videos. Tell your friends. I'm just going to keep supplying this with content. My goal is to do 2 podcasts a week. That may become more at some point, but right now, like, the hard goal is I just want to get 2. I want to fill this page up with as many simulated fights as possible. I think one I'm going to actually do, because I have both fighters currently in the system, is Miguel Cotto versus Triple G. And if you want to see it, the fight was recently canceled because James Kirkland broke his nose. But if you want to see, oh wait, now we have Curtis Stevens moving David Lemieux to the ropes. The question, oh, whoa, look at this. Curtis Stevens is starting to come on. And we're only in the fourth round. We have 8 more rounds to go. And this is one heck of a fight. They're saying that Lemieux is tired. We have Curtis Stevens. They're going to give Curtis Stevens this round. And so now he's really in a very big way. He got 4 points. He has evened up this fight going into the 5th round. And what I was going to say is that fight between Miguel Cotto and James Kirkland got canceled because Kirkland broke his nose. do not despair. I've already done a simulation of that, and it's one of the best fights that I've ever done on Boxing Time TV. A true, if you look at the game that it's being done on, this is an old 80s game, Sierra Championship Boxing, I think from 1983 or 1984. This game may look like it's not that great. I've never played a boxing game like it. It is 100%. You never know what's going to happen. Total theater of the unexpected. And that plays out very, very well in that fight, but between Miguel Cotto and James Kirkland. And a lot of things happened there that really surprised me. And Lemieux trying to come back a bit, once again using Stevens' aggressiveness against him. But the problem is that Lemieux found out early that that if he tried to come forward against Stevens, he got popped, he got cracked, and so it's a question of can he come forward against Curtis Stevens? Is he going to be able to? And the thing is that right now, Lemieux's doing okay, but Stevens is coming back. He's placing his punches. He's landing well, and we'll see. Sorry, I'm drinking water here. The weather out in California, I mean, it's just been interesting. It's been hot, it's been cold, it's been rainy, and I mean, it's fine. It's, a lot of the times the weather that we get here is nothing compared to other parts of the country. The things that we think are severe are not. But I would like to once again thank everyone for watching. I really enjoy doing this. This podcast, because I was thinking, recently, maybe do like stand-up comedy or something, or maybe like, because I do a lot of, I make independent movies, and I also do a lot of writing. I write a lot of young adult fiction stuff, and which you can all find on Amazon.com. Just look up Evan Jacobs, and you'll find me. Oh, look at that! Stevens lands a hard uppercut, and oh, look at that though! Lemieux running the numbers on Curtis Stevens. What a volley of punches he just landed. That may have won him the round, or at least even this up. These two guys are just going for it. And this is a very even, very well contested fight. And, we're going to have to see what happens as Curtis Stevens now trying to kind of come back a little bit from just that volley of shots that David Lemieux hit him with. And I'm sure Lemieux's probably kicking himself for not getting Curtis Stevens out sooner. But they're saying Lemieux is still tired. They're giving that round to Curtis Stevens, even though, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe the judge will have it even. No? Oh, the judge gave it to David Lemieux, which I think that's a good call. We now go in, and Curtis Stevens is up by 1 point as we enter the 6th round. This is how you know you have a great fight. You're halfway through the fight, and this fight's very even and very, very competitive. Right now, Stevens kind of moving Lemieux to the ropes, and I think there may be something to that. Lemieux may be tired, and it's just a question of, can Curtis Stevens now place his punches in such a way, because Curtis Stevens seems to be having better luck counterpunching, and Lemieux seems to be having better luck counterpunching, and when they stand in the center of the ring, they both trade evenly, so this is the kind of thing where fans benefit from both of the effectiveness of both these fighters' styles. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Lemieux landing a nice left as Curtis Stevens doing everything that he can to keep David Lemieux on the ropes, keep him just covering up and stealing these rounds and taking these rounds and negating what David Lemieux is going to do. He's going to the body. He's going to the, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, Curtis Stevens has him hurt, and he nails him to the body. And I got to tell you something, body shots are very hard to come back from. And I'm wondering, oh man, Lemieux lays down again. Will Lemieux get up? It's not looking good for him. It's not looking good. Oh man, look at that. Curtis Stevens, the cerebral assassin, works his way back into the fight. They had Lemieux ahead. In terms of, the odds were in Lemieux's favor, but Curtis Stevens shows why he is the cerebral assassin. He places his punches well, he lands his body shots well, and he got hurt. He got rocked in the 2nd round by David Lemieux, but Lemieux wasn't, he didn't finish it up, and Stevens, kind of took a little bit to regroup, but edged his way back into the fight, and ultimately took chances, came forward, took Lemieux's shots, which probably took away a lot of the confidence of David Lemieux, and then ultimately stopped him. And I actually had a feeling, I was thinking that Lemieux did not seem to be responding well to the body shots, and ultimately the body shots are what Curtis Stevens used to stop David Lemieux. Let's see what happened. Let's see what the announcer in the game is saying. The winner is Curtis Stevens by knockout. The fight lasted 6 rounds. Lemieux was knocked down 1 round, and Stevens was not knocked down, but he has a cut on his nose. So maybe Stevens felt a sense of urgency with the cut, but as you can see, the fight was very, very close. One judge even having Lemieux ahead by 2, another judge having Curtis Stevens ahead, and both other judges having Curtis Stevens ahead. Once again, thank you so much for watching Boxing Time TV. To the gentleman who requested this fight, RAT something or other, once again, I apologize that I don't have that in front of me. Thank you so much for requesting it. I love doing this fight. I thought it was hotly contested. It was every bit as exciting as I knew that it would be. If you or if anyone watching this thinks of fights that they want to see, just let me know. Thank you very, very much for watching. Once again, my name is Evan Jacobs. You can find me on Instagram at Boxing Time with Evan. You've been watching Boxing Time TV, and we will see you next time.